Picking a username is so crucial for any website or video game. Finding one that's unique but also represents you can be difficult. Some people might get lucky with the first name they choose, while others get stuck with the first thing that came to their mind. My name is Sprite, and this video will cover 5 simple tips you should know when picking your username online, what makes for great usernames, and why you should care about how your username looks and sounds. This video will go quickly, so feel free to rewind when necessary. And quick disclaimer, this video will mainly focus on Minecraft and YouTube, but the principles can be applied to any game or website. This video will also be broken up into 5 major tips to consider, with several smaller tips here and there. Subscribe if you enjoy, and let's jump into it. So the most important, but often overlooked aspect when picking a name is that you should like it. This might seem simple, but it's crucial when sticking with a name for a long time. So the first step to liking your name would be give it some sort of meaning. You could start with an object, animal, or cool sounding word that's related to your life. YouTubers like Penguin Zero got his name because he liked penguins. Smosh got their name from a mishearing of a friend's phrase, mosh pit. So maybe you think capybaras are cool and want to base your name around that, or maybe you have an inside joke with your friends where you say swick as a combination of sweet and sick. Get creative, because you don't want to be jumping from name to name every 6 months just because you discovered a new word. And when I say make it have meaning, I don't mean put personal info in your name. Unless you already have a really unique first or last name that works really well as a username, I wouldn't risk having the private info available to the public. This has already been echoed many times, but I still wanted to mention it since I see so many people putting their real first name, date of birth, address, or any other personal info in their username. My opinion is the less private info that's out there for the public is better. Next, make your name easy to read and pronounce. Let's say you decided on capybaras as your inspiration, but now your name is Capybara Lover 78. Now this is overly complicated and could be simplified for an even better name. If you pick this or this, you're only making your name more unique, so try to stay away from underscores and numbers. And your friends will be able to read it easier. Having a short name can be cool if it's done right, so long as it's still readable. Just don't end up with this, or even this. Many big YouTubers take the approach of creating a word that sounds like an English word already. Think Skeppy or Spifey. These aren't English words, but they sound like they could be. They look really clean, they're easy to pronounce, and you're not going to be confused when you look at them. Or you could corrupt an existing word, like if you took the name Player, spelt P-L-A-Y-U-R. It's simple, but it's not going to be confused with something else. And I know it used to be a trend for Minecraft players specifically to replace letters of their names with Q's and X's, but if your name is something like Piano, spelt P-1-A-N-Q, I'm not going to know what to call you. Therefore, short names aren't always the best. It's better to pick something like Piano Night or Piano Boost. These names won't confuse your friends. Another issue with short names is that you'll typically need a backup name for other websites or games. But if you go with something a little longer, you'll likely never be disappointed when your simple name is already taken, your name will be easy to pronounce, and it will look purposeful. There's also some smaller things to consider when choosing a name, like how it looks. I wouldn't pick names with double letters in the middle, like the name Hat Trick, since some might get confused and only put one T. Also, if you can, try to not put articles like the, a, or an, because once again, you want something that looks purposeful. I'd also recommend putting what you want to be called first in the name. For example, if you want to be called Cloud, I wouldn't recommend the name Drifting Cloud, because you will eventually be called Drift or Drifting at some point. And the last aesthetic choice is where your capitalization is. There's no hard and fast rule here, it's totally up to you. There are tons of great examples of YouTubers who have full lowercase or full uppercase or some kind of mix, and I'll throw a bunch of really good examples up on the screen here. But I'd say if you want to come off as more relaxed, maybe go full lowercase. If you want to come off as more professional, maybe go with the mix of upper and lowercase. Moving on, something else to consider is how your username sounds. Do you want a name that's harsh sounding like Charred Task, or something softer like Aurora Lily? This is again up to you, but something people subconsciously notice, and it's worth considering. And try not to choose words that blend together too much, like Fresh Fisher, as this can be difficult for others to pronounce quickly. Another thing to consider is consistency. This tip is more tailored to those with YouTube channels and Discord accounts, but it should not be understated, because your name is certainly what you're called online, but it's also your brand. If you want people to be able to find you easily online, then try to create as many of your accounts with the same name. And it will make it easier for you, since you won't have to keep remembering which variation goes with which website. Oh, and lastly, make sure you don't choose a name too similar to a large creator. In my opinion, it would be better to be the Daily Dreamer than Dream Here, since anyone trying to find your name will only find the speedrunner Dream. But the main takeaway is that if you like your name and are comfortable with it, stick with it. But if you're looking for a change, I'd recommend these tips. Because at the end of the day, you want a username that you like, represents you, and sounds like you wanted it. Thank you for making it this far in this video. If you like what you see here, consider subscribing. I'm looking to make a lot of videos on Minecraft and other games as well. Also, feel free to comment down below any questions and I'll try to help out with any of your names. Peace.